Hello folks, welcome to Food by Dobbers, back to basics. So today I'm going to show you how to fillet a fish. We're going to have part 1 and part 2. We've got 2 different ways of filleting. I'm going to show you some tips, tricks and things that I've learnt along the way to help elevate you in your fish filleting game. Now, if you can fillet a small fish, you can fillet a big fish, so on and so forth. So I've got some lovely little knobby local Queensland snapper that I picked up from MRF this morning. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Today, I'm going to show you how to fillet a fish. Now, I'm going to show you 2 different ways of filleting a small fish. Now, I can't show you how to fillet large fish. All I'm going to do is show you a small fish, because a small fish is a good basis for bigger fish. You can manage the small, where everything's small and intricate and tiny. You can manage the big ones, where things are big and large, and there's a lot more room to move. Okay, so here we have a beautiful little Queensland knobby snapper. I got these from my good friends at Mooloolaba River Fisheries, fresh this morning, as fresh as a daisy. So all I'm going to do now is just wipe any of the excess juice and liquid just with a little piece of paper towel. When dealing with whole fish, you want the fish to be as dry as possible, because a dry fish is an easy fish to grip, and an easy fish to grip is a safe fish. A wet, slimy, slippery fish, you're only setting yourself up for disaster. So I'm not going to worry about cleaning any of the other fins off, because all I'm going to do is just fillet this bad boy to the easiest way that I know how. So up right behind the head, we get our little filleting knife and we run that all the way down. Remember, when filleting fish, a clean knife is a happy knife and a clean knife is a sharp knife. So after every slice, give the blade a wipe. Be nice. Okay, now all I'm going to do is run the very tip of that knife down the top of the fish like so, just to release that little piece of skin that's running along the top of the backbone. From there, going to make a little incision across the tail. Now we've done that, it's time to get to work. Now, when filleting fishes, I like to use a small, sharp, flexible knife. Everyone's different, but me personally, I like something with a bit of flex, because it allows you to actually bend and get right in there, and you can feel the clicks as you're running across the bone. Make it a bit easier for yourself. Okay, so with a flat hand, holding the fish down so it's not going to move around, I'm getting the knife in there, running it along the backbone like so. Now, once I've released that first bit, you don't want to be pulling and ripping and bending and manipulating the flesh too much, because all that's going to do is break the flesh of the fish apart. It's not going to last as long, and when you cook it, it's going to be mushy. It's going to be not very nice, okay? So try and get all the bending in your knife, not your fish, okay? And you can see the flex in that knife. You can see the flex in the bend. So all I'm doing is running the blade over in a nice gentle motion until I get to the little backbone. So if you want to come in nice and close, have a look, just across there. Now, we're going to turn the fish around. We're going to repeat the process in reverse. So, starting at the back of the tail, make a nice little incision, give the blade a wipe, and then to help move the fish, I'm just putting flat pressure and pulling the fish fillet away from the cut. Okay, just like so, just like so. The fish is still attached by that tiny little piece of membrane going across the backbone. So, just like that. Okay, and there you go, that's one fillet. Now, I'm going to leave that fillet on, because that's going to help assist in the filleting of the next fillet. If I was to cut this off, the head becomes a bit lopsided, it becomes a bit harder to work with. So, we're going to leave that attached like so. Then, the exact same process, except in reverse. We cut the tail, we cut down the head, going down, and then working from back to front. So you can hear those little clicks. And then once you become fairly proficient in doing this, you can eventually do this incredibly fast and incredibly quick. But I'm taking it slow just to show you. Okay, then again, turn it over. Exact same once again. Down there. Just go through that little piece of where the belly and the poop chute was. Okay. Just with the knife, just go through where the rib cage starts, and bang, there you go, folks. So now we have our two fillets that have been filleted off but still attached through the rib bones. Ta-da! Okay, now, as what I said, with the less manipulation and the less you bend and touch and bash around these fillets, the better. So the easiest way to get both of these fillets off the fish without physically bending them over like so, is you start at the bottom, let gravity take care of everything. So this fillet is supported by the board, it's not being moved around, and this fillet is supported by the spine of the fish that it's attached to. So there's one nice little fillet. Now we do the exact same thing. Turn it so you can see. Just with a pair of scissors, all we're going to do is cut through that rib cage, just like so. And there you go, folks. That's filleting a fish. Now, the next step on cleaning these bad boys up, getting them ready for your place. Once again, the reason why I like to use a small knife is because doing stuff like this, it's a lot easier. So we're going to start at where the rib cage joins the fillets, right down at the base. And all we're going to do is run our knife up, and that separates the rib bones from the spine bones, which connect the fillet together. Once we've got that separated nicely, it's a simple matter of pressing that rib cage onto your knife, and then in one nice motion, off she comes. And there you go, folks. That is your little fishy rib cage. Clean this up here. To remove the bones, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little bones. What I'm going to do is run my knife along those bones. Now all this does, you can see that beading up there, all this does is help expose those bones so you can carefully pull them out. Pair of tweezers here. Now we're just going to clip onto the end of those bones, holding nice and tight and pinching your fingers around where that bone is. Now a lot of people out there like to have a little container of water, which they can just, pin bone dip. Me personally, I don't like to put excess water onto fish. All it does is it makes the pliers or the tweezers slippery. It makes what you're touching slippery. In this process, right now, in its current form, it's best to the less water that you touch this with, the better. Okay, so there's all our lovely little pin bones. Now if I was going to clean this up for a restaurant, nice little oblique cut on that edge. And then if you're just a little bit old school like me, we're going to score the skin, because ooh la la. Little bit of a pinch, score. When scoring fish skin, always start from the center and work outwards. That way you get even spacing amongst your scores. So, center, one on the end, divide it into the middle again, divide it into the middle again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And there you go, folks. You have an absolutely gorgeous little fillet of glorious Queensland knobby snapper. Does not get much easier, does not get much better than that. Okay, so continuing on. Now, if you don't want to pin bone things, because I'm not gonna lie, when I'm doing one now, fine. If I've got to do 40 of these and it's 4:30 and service starts at 5, that's a bad time. Okay, so I'm gonna show you another way of how to get the bones out of this little bad boy. Out with the rib cage. Once again, exact same process, just in reverse. Clean that up nicely. Give that a little bit of a trim. Now, if I was at home, this is what I'd be doing, folks. So we find the point where the bone is furthest back in the fillet with our knife. What we're doing is called V-boning. So we're cutting a V-shaped cut within the fish to then peel the bones out like so. And there you go, folks. Unfortunately, we've cut down the center of the fish. So if this was going into a pan, it wouldn't cook very nice. But we've taken the bones out in record time. And you know, if you're at home, that will be suffice, folks. Well, that is a basic method and technique of fish filleting. Ooh la la.